on if we really wanted to try to go all the way through here tonight or not. I might as well, then. We're already this far up in here.
Yeah. I got a brand new right side headlight on that side too, so. The lights look kind of weird though when you turn them on, because that side's dim lights, not as bright as this side, so it's like you can see a step where one side shines farther than the other. And when you turn the bright light on, the step switches sides, because the bright light on that side's way brighter. So I just replaced it, because it was out when I got here. Property
Basically, looks like a lot of like some of the roads and trails around the house. Both sides of the road are posted, but the road itself is open.
That's how a lot of the dirt roads are here. Now, this side's actually not posted. I don't think.
That side ain't no signs over there, but over here there is.
They went out of their way for that though. They just threw some concrete barriers down and mounted a sign to them.
Yeah.
Don't drive your vehicle off this road.
Yeah.
That could be a rough landing that way.
Well, you know, they wouldn't have as many of them signs like that if people would respect the land. Well, you know, you gotta have respect. And like, you know, like that one sign said, pick up your trash. You pack it in, pack it out. You know, it ain't that hard to not throw your bottles and your beer cans and all that out on the ground.
Yeah, people still do it.
Hey, road there.
No.
This
Yeah,
is
it's
the
just people taking shortcuts.
I know you people, not your water. No, that's
No,
definitely
I
people.
figure that's a people. About like that right there.
I didn't see the tire tracks on the other side. This definitely wouldn't take that shortcut. Yeah, there's no posted land. So this is probably all national forest right here.
Yeah, this is all.
Probably why it's called boundary road. It runs right on the boundary of the forest and the private land.
Yeah. I figured it just makes a big old loop up in here.
I didn't see a way it would come back into the other road.
No, not that.
Many gates and private areas there are back in here. It's gotta exit to a highway somewhere to have like year-round access.
Trying to figure out which way we're going here.
I think we go another way.
Here, you can look at it for a minute. Just kind of.
Alright. Yeah, we're going this way. It's got a lookout here. Lone Tree Lookout on ahead a little way. Scenic overlook.
There. Long ways around through here, ain't it?
Edge Lake Camp, so there's a campground there. And then the phone stop over.
Here's mile 4.
There ain't no way we only driven 4 miles.
I think we might ought to just go ahead and go back out the way we came. What do you think? There's somebody. A couple of somebody.
I think Watch those new dirt bikes.
It says you can use a licensed motorcycle. If it has a license plate, you can They got license plates.
You can't be outdated.
Well, obviously,
There's like
that applies to literally every vehicle.
off-roading trail.
Right next to the no off-roading sign.
Yeah. Good spot for trail, huh?
Well, it goes on up here and splits.
Which way we wanna?
One
way?
way it says 303, and it goes. I don't know where it goes. Another way it still says Rampart Ridge Road.
There's one road right there. That might be the one where it's just on, ain't it?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
That's where it just was.
Figured the way it was kind of looping around toward the back of them houses, I figured it was fixing to come, at least a fork of it was fixing to come back out on the highway right over there.
Can't tell, but that almost actually looks like it's paved right there. Well, that's up this road a ways, but that looks paved to me.
Yep.
From a side on view. So it might eventually turn into an actual paved road.
Yeah. I don't know, it's still kind of fun and kind of neat to look at.
I don't know what point it does that though. That section definitely still there. It is a pretty good long stretch. It's a dirt road though. I can't figure out where it turns paved. But the last thing on that sign at the very beginning is Woodland Park, so that's got to be where the end of it is. If it, like,
At one end of one of these roads, it's got to be Woodland Park.
yeah.
It's at 25 miles, though. But Woodland Park's just right there in the edge of town, ain't it?
Yeah, it's just right out the edge of Colorado Springs. Right out the western edge.
Surely they got signs when you, if it splits, they got signs telling you what goes where.
Looks like most of the time this road stays to the left on the map. That's what it's kind of showing.
Yeah.
I'll get some decent video footage at least to put on YouTube. Till that battery runs dead if it runs dead before we finish this. It shouldn't because it needs charged battery.
There's number 5.
See, that one looks a little closer to 4 than the rest of it being to each other.
Yeah. tower. Oh, so there's a tower.
So there is.
Huh?
So there is. There's some sort of radio communication tower.
Or fence.
Must be some more private land.
Well, it said something else was just a couple of miles up this road. And then it said that Woodland Park was 25.
I know it said city limits was like 2 to Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
There's a third thing on that list though. Something in the middle.
Yeah, but that means it has to come out somewhere before to get to them places.
Another alert thing.
Yeah.
I know it could just drive into the city limits and still be a trail.
Good.
That's a nice looking sunset.
You might get to one and see some of that up through here.
Just a water tank.
What?
Imagine having me on duty up here, just chilling, just sitting in that building.
Yeah.
Guess that's what I'm guessing that SUV is parked on the side back there for.
I don't know.
Maybe do that. There's a call. Well, that thing can make it up here. It can't be that rough of a road.
Yeah, you dropped your phone. Huh?
She's holding her phone out, window video or something.
Yeah.
Let's see what
No
phone
shooting.
Any kind of turn off.
But in a way, that counts as shooting.
This turn off
Shooting a
at
video.
Edge Lake Camp looks like it's
That's
going down to
illegal,
the
you know.
campground.
It doesn't specify with guns. That's illegal.
It's 303 road.
No, actually, it's not. Both ways, SHOOT.
It's kind of confusing as to where it goes.
So no, it's actually not spelled that way. Large trees, such an
I
amazing
guess
view.
303B dead ends.
Never seen trees before.
I can't say I've ever seen trees
328 turns
before.
off of it. And looks like it comes back onto this road, so that's just a loop. Into dead end.
It's been like a meeting building or
Yeah, I can't.
Exactly.
I can't say I've ever seen a tree before.
Maybe it'll come out eventually.
Not entirely sure if we can come out there, but one entrance looks like it comes out on the Air Force at the Air Force Academy.
Well, we probably could since you're with us.
Well, I don't know if I could get y'all in a gate though,
No, probably not.
outside of the actual Army base.
Harold, all kinds of vehicles up in here.
See where this 302 road that branches off leads.
Fixing to meet another here somewhere. I seen a headlight there a minute ago.
Dead ends. Yeah, the
Well,
first
see that vehicle there, that little vehicle ain't no bigger than ours.
the first point we can turn off every single road either dead ends or leads onto a military base.
So this one is the only option really we got. Huh?
Right there, I'm gonna keep looking up ahead. Well, except for one section of it does come back onto this road. It like circles back and it comes back on this road. This one here turns off at Rampant Reservoir. 306 road here. And dead ends. So 306A, it also dead ends. That'd be a nice, that must be a nice place to camp.
Where?
At the dead end at 306A.
Decided to take you half a day to get there.
There's a trailhead.
Huh?
There's a trailhead. Well, eventually we'll get to a crossroads with Loy Creek Road. And there's an inn nearby.
Oh, what?
This road's got to be a pretty main road when we get to Loy Creek Road.
Yeah.
Given that there's an inn nearby.
So them pretty rough little trail right up there to where they're parked, that ain't it? Up there watching.
SUV.
Yeah, but they're up there just watching the sunset. Be a pretty neat spot to do that.
Look out over. That'd be a pretty good spot to watch fireworks too on the 4th.
I figured.
Park up there and watch out over.
Girls, y'all might accidentally get to see y'all a really pretty sunset up here while we're out here messing around, because I figured the sun's gonna be all the way set before we figure out how to get out of this road.
Yeah.
Okay, so where that inn is, the road that the inn is on, like one way turns into a trail,
My phone.
and the other way just goes across from where
I
the float.
forgot my phone at the hotel, so I can't take
So
any pictures.
at this here four-way, that way turns into a trail. That way is the trail we're already on. Like this is the side we're coming from. And then this way just goes right down here and reconnects with the trail.
So we just need to stay on this road, basically. That's all we need to do, really.
But Rampant Range Trail, shortly after that four-way intersection goes up here to a T-junction, and that T-junction dead ends. And then it goes up here to a Y, and one way of the Y, apparently the road, both sides of the Y are Rampant Range Road, but
Yeah.
one way goes to Carroll Lakes Road, which dead ends apparently at a lake, which, despite the name of the road, is not Carroll Lake. It's Columbine Lake. Also, there is a Carroll Lake. There's a Carroll Lakes, but it's one lake, but its name is plural. So yeah, that road dead ends. The other way, 314 Forest Road. There's a Beaver Creek Road, which is another branch off from this road. And then it looks like they both dead end. Loaded a little. No, it doesn't load anymore up there. But if we stay on going that way, Rampant Range Road that goes way out here
Yeah, here's a
into the mountains.
T.
And looks like, it
intersection.
looks like it goes all the way through the mountains.
Oh,
Oh,
it's just a
we definitely don't want to take the T that way, because that way goes all the way to Denver.
what one?
At that Y junction.
What's that road there? It just goes up the little hump right there. Looks like, don't it? Yeah. I mean, one over. Oh, it just goes up under that rock with a smiley face on it.
Yeah, the
The pixel smiley face.
Huh?
There's a pixel smiley face.
Nice bank turn there. Either that or that's how you can get you a good run when you go off up over it. That should make some mean another vessel.
Yep.
At least the road's kind of curvy enough. You ain't really surprised, and nobody.
So when we get here to this Y junction, we're gonna want to turn toward the south. Because if we turn toward the north, it'll lead you to Denver.
We don't want to go to Denver tonight.
So if we turn toward the south, it will lead you in, just lead you straight into Woodland Park, which is just,
Hey, look, there's a Mario pipe, a blue Mario pipe.
which is like it's on 24. So if we get to Woodland Park, we'll just hop on 24 and go back to the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah,
There
because
go.
it'll probably be it's 8 o'clock. What time is it?
8:05.
Yeah, your clock's right.
It's off by 4 minutes.
Well, yeah, but that's close enough.
I thought it was off by more than that. I couldn't remember how much
But,
it was off.
The restaurant there, Texas Roadhouse, said it closes at 10.
So unless we can get all the way through this and back into town in the next 2 hours.
Yeah, we'll just see. We'll figure out something.
How you like that?
Yeah, at that Y intersection to go south will be a left.
Yeah.
We do have this compass, by the way.
Well, see, you can see Colorado Springs and all that down there.
Yeah.
Could always just drive down the valley.
Yow.
I don't know how this would handle that.
A little rough.
They're probably a bit more than a 3 or 4 on a trail
Oh,
scale.
it'd be a 7 or an 8 or a 10 on some of that, wouldn't it? Some of it wouldn't be too bad if you got it in the right spots. You might want to have a little more ground clearance than we got on here, though. A lot more suspension travel.
By the time you get down there, you definitely wouldn't have that little front plastic splitter on there.
Probably be doing good if you had a bumper at all.
Watch this. I tried to say that was gonna be up on this side.
Yeah. I think that's at number 9.
That was 8.
What?
Huh? Oh, 8. The mile marker post
Oh.
right there.
Looks like the mountain's gonna switch sides on us.
Yeah. For a little bit.
I like that on a
A rabbit.
Love it.
on old stages. A couple of points where I like this, like you switch from one mountain to another, like that you're on the side of, and it's like a pass. Like there's nothing on either side of you. What do you make of them? Is that a telephone pole? Alright, telephone pole. That was like one of them barricades you see World War II military
Yeah.
put up.
Gate or some sort of one.
That looked like one of them, like,
Yeah.
where it's like just the 3 bars making like a little thing.
We're still a lot lower level than we was the other day yesterday, though, so. Because we're still in the trees.
none of the mountains around here go that higher than that one. I said that. Well, you can't even see the top of Pikes Peak right now. It's above the clouds.
Yeah.
There's also a whole bunch of snow on
I wonder how that snow gets there if it's above the clouds.
it. There's 3 layers of clouds. The 3rd layer is still above Pikes Peak.
Well, kind of like yesterday. It was snowing yesterday up
Yeah, it
there.
was snowing, but there were no clouds.
There was clouds.
There weren't that many.
The 3rd layer of clouds always is, well, is above Pikes Peak still. The 1st layer is generally the thinnest and least deadly when it comes to storms. The 2nd layer is a bit worse than is thicker than the 1st layer and it's a bit more dangerous when it comes to storms. And
Oh
the
look,
3rd layer
you ever
is
seen a
generally
birch tree?
Yeah. There's a pulling off spot. Somebody had a fire there.
Hey, there ain't supposed to be no fires here.
That's probably
Till about mile marker 16 or something.
that's probably another one of them deals too. That it depends on how you operate. Looked like they just had a little one there. They didn't have a big fire.
One thing's for sure, them campgrounds out there must be 10.
Mm-hmm.
Either maybe a small camper.
Well, you wouldn't have much left of a camper if you drug it off of out of here, would you?
You could bring an overland out here.
Yeah, you probably could one of them,
Or like a pickup bed camper.
but yeah. You wouldn't want-
off-road versions of our
You wouldn't want a real big
That's an
RV.
overland.
I thought about making our pop-up into an overland camper. Because, you know, I put that one heavy-duty spring on that one side. Because it's a 3-leaf instead of a 2-leaf like the other one is. Thought about putting both of them under it. And then
Lift it a little
putting the
bit.
axle under the springs instead of above the springs.
There's
that'd-
mile 9.
Raise us up about 10 inches. Or about 6, I think 8 inches. I think. There's a deer.
I ain't too terrible far from the peak of this mountain.
Uh-uh.
Unless it's a false peak I'm seeing. There's a lot of them around here too.
Yeah.
Till you get up to them, they look just like the peak, and then you get there and there's more mountain left.
Mm-hmm. Well, now we're where we can't even see the town. All we can see is mountain.
You can get a pretty good view of Pikes Peak from here. The part of it not obscured by cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pikes Peak's not actually that much of a tall mountain. Like, it's pretty tall right here looking at it,
Yeah.
but it's actually number 53 in the States. There are 53 more mountains taller than it.
I was thinking it was like 1 or 2.
Most of them are in Alaska.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
The continental U.S. doesn't have that many that are taller, but
Yeah.
Alaska owns the top 10 mountains.
Yeah.
I looked it up because I just trying to figure out exactly where it was.
There's
In there.
some wheeling spots. Yeah, that's a little. That's not quite what we want in here. On that one, that'd be a Cherokee and trail like there. Look like.
Like I looked up a list of the top 11 mountains, and 10 of them are in Alaska.
Yeah.
The first 10. They only made a top 11 list so they could have something that wasn't in Alaska on the list.
Yeah.
What's the second tallest mountain? I know the first tallest mountain in the world is Mount Everest.
I don't know about the world, but the first tallest in America is Denali. Or Mount Yukon, depending on which name you want to call it by, because it has two names for some reason. I think this is the second. I think that's the second tallest in Colorado, is what it is. Because the list that me and Jaden were looking at had a different one for the tallest in Colorado. They had a list in the park.
Actually, I don't even think Pike.
Yeah,
I don't
I
even
wonder.
think Pikes Peak is in the top 5 of tallest in the U.S.
No, because all top 5 in the U.S. are in Alaska.
Oh
Oh, the
yeah.
whole ton are in Alaska. What are you talking about?
The top 10 list of the United States mountains. Alaska, 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 Alaska. Yep, if you want to view the top 10 mountains, just do a trip to Alaska real quick. You'll see all 10 of them while you're there.
Yeah.
Don't travel the top. You might not be able to breathe much.
And I'm pretty sure 11 was in Washington.
Also,
Like state.
Never
or-
view.
if you're doing
Yeah,
the tallest
state.
mountain, if
You
you're
can
doing
see
the
that
tallest
shell.
mountain for each
It just kinda
state,
goes around
Oklahoma
that
doesn't even
small
put in the
peak
top
of that hill.
25.
Yeah.
And that's the tallest mountain for each state, only one mountain. By those times, Oklahoma doesn't even come in top 5 because its tallest mountain is the Black Mesa.
Although those ones were ranked. And
I think
stuff.
we ought to,
What?
we ought to almost be able to start back down.
Yeah, there ain't much mountain left above us.
Uh-uh.
Which direction is Pikes Peak in from our current orientation? It's gotta be like that way.
It's got to be over the other side of that hill right there.
Yeah, that one's nowhere near taller than it, but it's tall enough from this perspective to block its view.
Yeah, just where we're at on it.
It's gotta be pretty much straight in front of us, because that's west.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe a little south of us, maybe a little like right there
Yeah.
on the other side of that.
The bad part about it, if you try turning around and going all the way back like we come in, they'd probably have that darn gate locked down there. Then you'd have to turn around and come all the way back anyway.
That'd be hard, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I doubt they do though.
Well, it ain't 9 yet, or 10, whichever time they lock it in. There's another gut right there.
Yeah, but it looks like they actually grade this road. Pretty regular, it looks like, don't it?
Yeah. What do you think having the top of these trees?
I don't know. That's what I was kind of wondering. All the trees were blowed over up here. They're dead.
They all, well, most of them toxic broke off of.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the birch trees and the pine trees.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's just how them trees grow. They just grow already dead.
Well, they might. Probably the winds and stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah, that tour guy did say occasionally a tornado come through, didn't he?
Yeah.
It'd probably only do any damage to the tops of the mountains.
Yeah, for the biggest part of the damage would be.
Just because tornadoes don't go up and down very well. Can you imagine driving a road grader down this to grade it?
Had to pack a tent and sleeping bag and
All right, Jeff, you're the one that got selected. You're gonna spend the next week grading that road.
Mm-hmm.
You shook your pickup on the back of the road grader and towed along with you.
Well, that's probably what they do. Grade up until they find a good spot to park it. At the end of the day.
Takes news. Go again.
If we was on the side of the mountain toward the sunset, that'd look pretty good.
Well, it'd be kind of neat, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We was a while ago, till the sun's already trying to set, and now we're on the wrong side of the hill.
And I can still get stellar color in my camera though.
Yeah, it's got some pretty color in there, don't it?
I wonder who's gonna watch this, like what's gonna probably turn out to be a 2-hour video.
I do your recording.
Yeah, I got my GoPro on the windshield. I'm gonna post it on YouTube.
Maybe you will watch it.
There's events.
Lots of people like off-roading videos, even if off-roading consists of drive down a dirt road.
Your pants on this side too now.
And they crossed out of the National Forest land. What'd you do if you owned a mountain peak?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mile 11.
I just owned that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna plant my house right there, on top of the mountain.
You get a pretty good view.
And I hope the wind don't blow it off like it did the top of all these trees.
That's probably what had happened.
That's pretty cool. It's lightning up there.
Well, we're pretty close to it. They don't have to go very far to get down here.
No, I say it's cool looking.
There's somebody else.
They're gonna stop and ask them how to get out of here.
This way.
Either way.
Well, you just drive until you find the way out. That's about how you get out.
It's a through road. That's what its sign said. You have to follow the road.
We pretty much just gotta stay left. Every time we come to an intersection, just stay left. Except for that four-way. If you drive straight through the four-way, you'll come to
There it
the place.
is.
That's it. There must be a maintenance rate.
Yeah. Or something.
There's a Cherokee trail. Not today.
Huh?
There's a Cherokee trail.
Yeah, not a compassing trail.
Not this compass. It just goes through there.
Does your Cherokee have a built-in compass, though?
No, but it probably needs one of them off-roading compass setups in it.
Well, the one that's got the,
Articulation deal and all that on there.
yeah.
I'd like to have one of them in it.
They could easily do that with this. Like, you think about it, it's got these bars off the side that can make that rock back and forth.
Yeah.
They might do that on the actual off-road package ones.
Fine. And look at that how shining on them, the sun shining on them rocks. That was kind of neat though.
You can walk up there and get a picture.
I know, I seen that. I want to hop out and take a look right quick before it decides to rain.
I'm just gonna leave this camera upside down so it doesn't make the video be upside down and like post it.
Tom, you wanted a picture of the sunset?
I didn't want a picture, I wanted it in the video. I didn't realize we've been driving so long. Dad, I didn't realize we've been out here so long. I got an hour and 14 minutes of video already. I'll go over here.